Hello, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Workshops and Trainings Convenor Q&A webinar for World Water Week 2023. My name is Sophia Iqbal. I'm the head of program here at World Water Week, so I'm looking forward to answering your questions about your workshops today. Just to note, we will not be unmuting the mics today and limiting questions to those in the chat in order for me to be able to answer as many questions as possible. So if you do have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat. But first, I wanted to get started with a brief agenda. I'm going to start with a few do's and don'ts for preparing a successful session at World Water Week. And then I will hone into specifics for the workshops regarding by topic. So regarding speaker registration, room setup, participant sign up, and more. And then I'll open it up to other questions. All right. So some things to do as you are planning for your session. The very first thing is, of course, registering your speakers and yourself. Please make sure that all of your workshop leaders and other speakers are registered for the conference on site. And please make sure that your session details that are listed on the digital platform are up to date. You can do that via the edit link that you received as the session host. If you did not receive an edit session details link, please email us at worldwaterweek@cw.org. Moving on, of course, everyone knows that the World Water Week theme for this year is around innovation. So when you submitted your workshop, we asked that everyone kind of talk a little bit about how their session is related to innovation. And of course, as you are planning for your session, thinking of it as the start of an impact journey. What is your ultimate goal? What outcomes are you looking for, and what kind of skills or knowledge are you hoping to impart to the audience? Additionally, we at World Water Week would like all of our sessions to fulfill the gold standard, which is at least having 40% female speakers and one youth speaker. So if you have ticked off that you will be abiding by the gold standard, we hope that you will be able to complete that this year. Additionally, since you are a workshop, it's extra important that you interact with your audience. For workshops, this is an on-site only session. It is meant to be very hands-on with roundtables, with polling, surveys, quizzes, and the like. Really an opportunity for you to share information, but also for the audience to give you feedback as well. So we hope that you will make your workshops as interactive as possible. And we can talk more about that when we talk about room setup and such. Additionally, we would love for you to promote your session widely with World Water Week's social media promo kit. You can find that on our Convenor Success program, along with checklists, other convenor trainings. We do have a number of webinars that talk about the impact journey, how to promote your session, and things like that. So please do check those out if you haven't already. And of course, if you do have any questions that we aren't able to get to today, or you need clarification about your specific workshop, please email us at our worldwaterweek@cw.org email. And then a couple don'ts, not too many here, but the main thing is don't wait until the last minute to do several things. Again, register your speakers and update your session details. We hope that you will do this right away, but really the latest deadline is August 14th to get your speakers registered so that if there are any issues, we can tackle those before the conference starts. Of course, we hope that you will also rehearse your session, rehearse your workshop, really work on all of your talking points and things that you would like to convey. If you do have some type of moderated session or piece in your workshop, please do make sure you choose a really well-prepared moderator who understands the content of what you are hoping to convey. And then, like I said, build in polling, build in quizzes, and really make sure that your on-site audience is very well engaged. So moving on to some of the topics I'd like to cover today. And like I said, I want to answer as many questions as possible. So speaker registration and information. Like I said, all participants must be registered to attend the conference. Since this is an on-site only workshop, this shouldn't be a problem. Everyone who attends on-site should register. Remember that registration is separate from the convener session fee. We do recommend that you have 2 to 3 workshop leaders, but of course you can have more. We do also recommend having visual aids, slides, videos, and things like that. And then another recommendation is around icebreakers. Give space at the beginning of your session for participants to meet you, to meet each other, and just kind of get to a point of comfort in your 90-minute session so that there is a lot of interaction. Regarding speaker registration or any other information around that, do we have any questions, Victoria?
No,
not at the moment. Okay, no problem. If you do have any questions regarding this topic, we'll of course come back to it. Moving on to the room setup and tech. The room is room 26. This is listed also on our digital platform, so you probably have already seen this. It's on the 2nd floor of the venue. The capacity of the room is 45, but we do have mini islands that are set up for 8 people. 8 people per island, and then you end up with about 30 seated. We do have a little bit of wiggle room there should your session, should your workshop garner a few more participants, but we can only have the capacity at 45. That includes your workshop leaders. The tech included are 2 LED TV screens and 1 laptop. The laptop will have Wi-Fi, so if you need to connect a video or something like that, you are welcome to do that. But there is no online audience for this session. It's a purely on-site session. So we do not allow for online audience or online speakers for this session. And we do not have any microphones set up for this room. However, if you do feel that you need a microphone, we do have that capability to get that for you, but you will have to email us. But the rooms are really set up for discussion back and forth. So microphones, we shouldn't need them, but just in case. And then upon your arrival to the conference center, please do bring your presentations, if you have slides, on a USB to the speaker ready room on the 2nd floor. So it's on the same floor as the workshops, to have your slides uploaded to the room laptop in advance. This will just make the process so much easier when you go into setup for your sessions. Any questions about room setup?
Yes, we have a question from Belinda. She says that our session requires movement. Can we move around the tables and chairs?
Absolutely. You can go ahead and move the tables and chairs as you'd like. The only request is that you also move them back at the end of your session. Any other questions around that? Okay. All right. No problem. We're going to move on to participant signups. Many of you have probably received emails over the past couple of weeks regarding signing up for the workshops or creating your personal schedule. So participants can sign up for workshops by adding the workshop to their personal schedule on the World Water Week digital platform. So if you go to all sessions and you're looking for example, this session at 9 o'clock on Monday, all they have to do is click on the plus sign here, the blue plus sign, and see that it becomes grayed out. Then when they go to their personal schedule, it will show up. And this is for not just for workshops, but for all sessions. There is no limit on the number of participants that can sign up for a session. Sign up for for a session or for a workshop, but space is limited in the workshop room. So entry will be permitted based on first come, first serve for that list of pre-registered participants. So if you have any specific guests that you want to attend, that you've specially invited to this workshop, please make sure that they do pre-register so that it makes it easier for our assistants at the doors to let them in. Of course, if someone doesn't show up for a workshop and we have the space to let those who have not signed up in advance to enter, we will of course allow that as well. But that will be on kind of based on how the session is filling up. Any questions regarding this?
Yes, Belinda asks, are we able to have at least a 15-minute rehearsal time the day before?
This depends on when your workshop is happening in the schedule, to be perfectly honest. We might, very, very slight chance, might be able to accommodate that. But please email us if you do need something like that. However, I would say as a blanket policy, no, but we might be able to work it out depending on certain workshops when they're happening.
Yes, Laurent asks, will flip charts and or whiteboards be available?
So I believe we have whiteboards in the room, and I will double check that and make sure that is updated on the Convenor Success Program, but I believe we have whiteboards. If not, then there will be flip charts.
Ariane asks, how is the room set up? Is it possible to have a panel style setup, as in, for example, 3 people sitting in the front of the room?
Sure. So we will have extra chairs in the back of the room that you can, set up at the front to have a panel if you'd like. As I mentioned, it is the style of the room is sorry, I'll go back to it is mini islands. So to have 8 people seated around mini islands. But if you would like to change that around, like I said, all you have to do is put it back at the end of the session. Any further questions?
No.
All right. So this is a little bit about participant signups. Continuing on. So 1 week prior to the conference, so August 14th, you will receive the pre-registered participant list. So these are the people who have already signed up for your workshop. This will include name, title, and company to give you a better understanding of who and how many people have already signed up for your workshop, so that you have time to customize it or tailor it as needed. Like I said, if you have any invited special guests, please make sure they've registered so that they are added to this list. And that they arrive about 5 to 10 minutes prior to the start of the session so that they're let in. If you would like to share any materials with participants in advance, I know there was a question about sharing like a foundational paper or something like that. You can share links to different files in your workshop description on the platform. This is the best way to dispense information to participants in advance. But of course, you can also distribute these files and things like that at the conference as well. All right. Any questions?
Yes, Ariana's asking, how can registered speakers get added to the short description in the online program?
Absolutely. So when speakers register, in their registration form, there are 2 boxes. So they can either tick speaker or session host. So we would ask that if they are just speakers, they tick the box speaker. Then it will ask for their session ID. This is the same ID that you used in your proposal. And it's the same one that we've kind of been talking to you about throughout the conference. You can also find this in your session card on the digital platform. It's a 5-digit session ID. They put this session ID into their registration form and submit the form. If, for example, your your person is already registered and they did not add the session ID or tick that box, they can do that afterwards. When they receive their confirmation email, there is a link to edit those details. So they can actually do that after they have registered as well. If they continue to have trouble, please email us. Please have them email us, or you email us to let us know that they are on your session and that they should be added to your session. And again, please do this as soon as possible. So check your session details this week and let us know either by the end of the week or beginning of next week so that we can get that done for you quickly. Any other questions?
Yes, we have a question from Belinda. She asked whether is it still possible to update the workshop description?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you have your edit session link that you received probably in June, so it's been a while, you can go ahead and update your workshop description pretty much up until the start of the conference. So you've got another about week and a half to do that. Any further questions?
No.
All right. So with that, I'll open it up to any other questions that you might have about your workshops. It can be around speakers, around the workshop itself. I'm happy to bounce ideas as well. So please go ahead. No questions at this time. Wait, maybe.
Yes, we have a question from Ariane. Do you have a particular polling system you recommend to use?
From previous World Water Weeks, we know that Mentimeter is one that works quite well. People generally like that one, and you can actually include the polls right into your slides. And they usually have instructions at the top of the slides that the audience, how to answer questions in their mobile devices. So Mentimeter is a good one. Another one that I've used previously is Poll Everywhere. They're very similar. So I would recommend just playing around with either of those two. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, Belinda is commenting that it would be great if the participants or the conveners in this session can get the presentation to share with other workshop leaders.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are actually recording this session. So the plan is for this video to go up onto our Convenor Success program either by the end of today or beginning of tomorrow, but I'm also happy to share the slides as well. So that's absolutely no problem.
Great. We have another question from Ariane. Is there no need for microphones as the room is small and acoustics are good?
That's correct. We visited the site, we visited the room. These rooms don't really need microphones. However, if you find on the day that maybe you have a slightly soft speaker, we do have some roaming microphones that we can use in the room. But generally, this room is meant to be like I said, more of an intimate setting. So talking one-on-one or talking with a group of people should not be a problem.
Great. We have an additional question. In terms of tech, is there a large screen to project slides? I believe you said there are even 2 screens.
Yes. So there are 2 LED TV screens, and they're quite large, and they take up pretty much one wall. So that's what you'll have. And then the laptop will be hooked up to those screens. So when you, like I said, bring your presentations to the speaker ready room on the 2nd floor, those slides will be uploaded to the laptop. You don't need to do it yourself. You don't need to handle that. When you get there, all you have to do is put your slides into present mode, and then you're ready to go. Any other questions?
No, not so far.
Okay. Are there any questions about speaker registration? Any other questions about speaker registration or how to edit your session details? The one thing that I can mention is that when you are editing your workshop details, you cannot edit your list of conveners, and you cannot personally edit, add or delete your speakers. So if you need to do either of those two things, you will need to email worldwaterweek@seaweed.org. Otherwise, you are able to change and update your summaries, your session descriptions, your program. Those are the three main things that you can do yourself. But again, if you need to change your conveners or your speakers, please contact us. Any other questions? No. Great. All right, let's see, how are we looking on time? We have 8 minutes left. I can stay on for another minute, and then if you do have any further questions, please feel free to email us, and also review our Convenor Success Program again. We are updating it constantly with your questions, you know, so please keep checking that as well.
We have a clarification. Should they email Seaweed or World Water Week?
Sorry, worldwaterweek@seaweed.org. So that email is here at the bottom, worldwaterweek@seaweed.org. This is our general inbox. So throughout the year, you can reach World Water Week at this email address. Oh, that is actually a good point. When you are on site and you have a question about your workshop, maybe your workshop is later in the week, but you've already arrived at the conference, please visit us at our secretariat. That is going to be on the 4th floor, I believe. Come visit us at the secretariat and we can answer questions there if you are on site. If you are still you know, traveling on your way into World Water Week and you have a question, then please go ahead and email us. But if you're on site, just come visit us at the secretariat and we can help you. Thanks, Victoria.
No, I think that is all.
Great. All right. Well, thank you all so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. I know this is last minute, and you know, I'm sure you're eager to get to Stockholm, and we're looking forward to having you in just a week and a half. But please let us know if you do have any questions. We're always around to help, and looking forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.